Welcome back to A Gentleman's Life, everyone. Here with you on a beautiful Thursday morning slash, I guess afternoon now. It's just afternoon a little bit here in Germany. Beautiful day. Little clouds in the sky, but the sun's shining through and it's looking really nice. Anyways, today I'm here to bring you another unboxing video. And I'll preface this kind of why I'm showing you two big unboxing videos kind of back to back almost. I had talked in a previous couple of videos about, especially my 6-month review of the Tudor Pelagus, about how I'm trying to downsize my collection. I've been thinking about it for a little while now, for the past couple months. I've been thinking about just trying to simplify life as a whole, essentially have less stuff, and narrow down to the nicer things and less things that I really want. So I've been slowly working on doing that, and that has carried over to my watch collection. And in the past couple of weeks, really the past month, I'd settled down and really thought about it pretty hard, thanks to Johnny Casual and a few others. It's people I've talked to, and I kind of just thought about the collection as a whole, and I realized if I wanted to cut down to 6 core watches instead of, the 20 or so I had at the time, and I've had more than that. I've been up in between 20 and 30, but I'd cut down to about 20 and stayed like that for a little while, and then thought about it some more and decided to cut down again. And I've settled on the number of 6. And part of the reason I did that is I realized I already had 4 of the 6 that I would feel comfortable with of having a nice core collection. So these 2 unboxings, first was the Christopher Ward single pusher chronograph, and then today's unboxing are the 2 watches I chose to finish filling out those 6 watches that I'm going to have as the core. I'll have 1 or 2 others. I'm still have the Garmin like running watch for tracking my runs, and a watch my parents bought me for sentimental value. But other than that kind of stuff, I'm really going to let everything else go. I'm in the process of selling off everything else. I've sold off a few already, but I have quite a few more to go to sell off. And I'm going to stick with those 6, and I think I'll be perfectly happy with that. And then I can be more selective and choosy about what and when I add to the collection. So, anyways, that's the background as to why I've got these 2 unboxing videos back to back. But without further ado, let me switch it to first person mode and we will get on to the unboxing. So here we are with the next unboxing, and as you can see here, it is a Zenith. I have a feeling Guido Pelagus will like this one a lot. Some of his videos are the one that finally set me over and decided me to drop the ball on this one. So, take this out of the box. I was happy with this one to find the full box and papers. That can be rather difficult these days. So this, really nice box. This one is from, actually let's look at some of the paperwork here maybe. Actually, we'll open the box first. So here what we have is the Zenith el Primero Chronomaster. This is the triple date moon phase, which Guido will recognize very well as the same as his own. Not an original strap. The seller here has sent it on an FP Journe alligator strap, which is really nice, well broken in, but in pretty good condition. I do need to get a new buckle. The buckle is not a Zenith, and it's not actually the same size as this strap. It's a couple millimeters wider, but I've been looking on Chrono24 and found a couple buckles, so I might get a deployment clasp for the strap. But anyways, so the Chronomaster, this is one of the triple date moon phase chronographs from Zenith, the early 2000s, that they stopped making for a while, and then a couple years ago they came out with a new limited edition kind of reissue of this watch. However, that one was larger. This one is, I believe, 39 millimeters, and the reissue is 42. It's just a bit big, and it has circular pushers here instead of square pushers, and it wasn't really my thing. So when that came out, I really started looking at this watch seriously, and I ended up looking around for a used model, and that's where I found this one. Let me start the chrono running, so y'all can kind of watch that when I go back and forth. This is a high beat movement, so it's very, very smooth how it runs. Really nice detailing, and I picked this as to differentiate between the two chronos. The other one's much larger, more simple in design. This one's much busier. Really classic as well, though. They're both kind of classic looks. But this one, the triple date, you can see here you've got day of the week, month, and date. And then you have the moon phase down at the 6 o'clock. Along with that is an hour subdial. On the right at the 3 o'clock you have a minute subdial. And then over on the left you have the continuous seconds subdial. And then of course the seconds with the chronograph from the center. So I really like that. I've really liked this watch for quite a while. It hits a few itches for me. I've wanted a full chrono. I've wanted a moon phase. I've wanted the triple date. And this kind of hits all of those at once for me with a movement that I really like as well, actually. So the movement, you can see here, Zenith Chronomaster, you can see the serial number. So this, as far as I can tell, is probably one of the last few made, maybe in the last 1 to 2,000 made of the Chronomaster movement here. This was the last edition that actually had chronometer certification, and the movement is the 410Z. So that was the kind of 2000, I believe it was about 2000 to 2002 through 2003, or late 90s through 2002. They put the Z on the end as an update to the movement. And I'd have to go back and research and remember what it was that was updated. I can't remember off the top of my head. But really beautiful movement. So I think that is really gorgeous. For a 10-year-old watch, I think it's really in pretty nice condition. And this is going to kind of be my go-to dress watch. Just really gorgeous. I've already said it. So here in the side, you've got the crown and the 2 pushers. And then over on this side, you've got 2 pushers as well. These 2 are specifically for the moon phase and the day of the week. That's what these 2 set. The month sets with the date, and that sets through the main crown. So that is the Zenith Chronomaster that I picked up, and that's kind of crowning for me, for my dress watch, essentially my high-end crowning jewel dress watch. Let me just put it back on the, actually I'll put it on a wrist shot, and I'll wear that while I show you guys the paperwork. And then I'll show you kind of the collection update of where this puts me, of what I'm going to keep as a core collection while everything else is for sale. So here, we've got the Chronomaster, it's the guarantee. And you can just see here all the pertinent movement and chronometer information on here. So that's the guarantee for the Chronomaster. Here you have your instructions. This is the English booklet for the instructions. And then your World Service Guarantee booklet as well with the card. So this was purchased in 2003 was when it was purchased, and so I'm going to have to check and see if that's when it was made or not. It looks like it was possibly made in 01, but 2003 purchase date. It has been sent in for service once, according to the seller, although no paperwork to go with the service. But it was sent in for service a couple of years ago, so probably at about the 10-year mark. Here's USA warranty service information, and then all of these are actually instruction booklets for different languages. This one looks like it's French, and then we've got German, and so on. So that's really kind of nice. It looks like Italian in there as well. So that's all the booklets. And then here, which you can't get with the new version, the limited edition version, is the chronometer certificate, which I think is really neat. It's the first one of these I've had. Paper certificate. And here it shows you the movement number, the movement number. You've got all the different movement data from the different positions it was tested in and at what temperatures, and the daily rates and the variation of the rates. And down at the bottom, it just does a summary of all of those different variations for you. And it looks like, based on here, it was tested in September of 2001, was when it was certified as a chronometer. And then it was sold a couple years later. So, not bad. Really interesting information to have, and I think that's really cool. I do have another chronometer, my Omega Seamaster, but that one just gives you a little Omega card, chronometer certification card. The Zenith here actually gives you this full-on, you know, paper certificate, which is really neat. So I really like that. So, hope you all have enjoyed looking at the Zenith. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you guys my collection as it stands after showing you a couple of wrist shots, and go from there. So here is how it looks on the wrist. I think it looks really nice, really classy. Really fits the wrist well. Really nice. So let me. Alright, so here we are with my collection as it's going to stand as the core of my collection. As you can see here, I've really decided on a couple sport watches, 2 dressier chronographs, and then 2 of the more military aviation styled watches. And I think that gives a really nice balanced collection for now that I'll be happy with. So to start with the top left, I've decided to hold on to that Omega Seamaster. It gives me a nice blue diver. I just really like that watch. The Bond bracelet is fantastic, and just really love this watch. So that one's going to stay in the collection. Down below that, then we have the Tudor Pelagus, which is kind of the watch that started me on my downsizing. If you watched my my Tudor 6-month review video, you know how much I love that one. So that's my tool-like diver to go along with a little bit dressier style diver. And then the 2 new watches. We have the Zenith, which is right there. A nice, classy, major complication dress watch for me. And then below that, I'm going with the much larger, but interesting to me, Christopher Ward single pusher chronograph. The bicompacts, I like the difference in the bicompacts versus the 3. And I also like that it's got the single pusher complication, which is something that's always really intrigued me. Both of these have classy designs. This one I could utilize as like a pure dress watch with a suit or a tux or anything like that. While the Christopher Ward being larger, I think I would be able to use more as like a casual dress, you know, maybe jeans, t-shirt, and a sport coat, something like that. It would work well in that kind of situation. Or maybe like a button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled up, you know, those kind of things. So really like the differentiation between those two. Also, here we have dark blue and black, and then I have white and silver dials. So I like the differentiation there. And over here, being military style, these are both black dials, but I have the Hamilton Khaki Field, which was a gift from my parents. And I like that one, and I like the styling of that, but I'll stick to that as my one field watch. And below that, I have my B-Er pilot watch, which is the Steinhardt Nav B-Er Premium, and that's the one that has their modified Unitas movement that they've modified and decorated themselves. And I just really like the detailing of this one, the sandwich dial, the goulash on the sub-dial. Just really, I like the detailing on that, so I decided to keep that one as the pilot watch. And I feel like with those 6, you know, I have a good variety, and it gives me a good variety in a lot of different things, and they're all pretty reasonable and decent watches. And what I decided to do is cut back and stick to just the pieces that I more wanted to have. And you know, some of them may get replaced at one point. I'm willing to fill the box up, and that's it. You know, at some point I still would love the Rolex GMT Master. I'd love to get an Omega Speedmaster, Man on the Moon. So both of those may get added into the collection as kind of aviation slash space styled watches. But I have a little bit of room for expansion, but I don't want to go any more than what I can fit in the box to begin with. So I want to keep it a little bit simpler and, well, toned down and have a little bit simpler life, essentially, as I stated. So that's where I stand right now with the collection update, and it'll probably be that way for a while. I don't plan on making any more major purchases or really much in the way of minor purchases, maybe a couple, but that's it. You know, a couple for fun, try them out kind of things, you know, cheaper sub $1,000 watches just for fun. But for the most part, I'm going to stick with just this, and that's it. So, hope you all enjoyed my unboxing and collection update video. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, or if you feel like doing a video response, would love that too. If anyone's requesting anything specific for videos, whether it's a review of a watch I have, or if you want my thoughts on your collection or a specific watch, or a specific watch company, or anything else, send me an email to the email that will be listed in the description below, and I will get that and work on making a video response for you. Thanks for watching. Until next time.